Brought to you by Sheehan's Rustproofing. The Chiefs have just come out on the ice for a warm-up period. They're about to try for their 5th consecutive win. They're getting a good round of applause from their own booster club, who have traveled all the way from Charlestown to be here in Peterborough tonight.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home, make your next move a power play with Mike Berggren of Real Brokerage Realty. First responders, veterans, doctors, nurses, teachers, and yes, Let's Go Blues Radio listeners get special rates. Visit strikewithmike.com or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com and score big today.
Have you subscribed to the LGB Minute podcast yet? It's a 5-minute weekly St. Louis Blues podcast hosted by Jeff Ponder that is released multiple times a week to fill the gap between Let's Go Blues Radio episodes. Subscribe today.
So awesome, so handsome, so smart, you'll agree. Kurt, Jeff, and Bill are on TV. It's radio on TV. Oh yeah, it's radio on TV.
From St. Louis, I am Jeff Ponder, and I'm joined by the original baby from New Year's Day, Mr. Bill Day. I don't even know what that means. I literally came up with it 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, and it's not true whatsoever.
No,
I'm not a New Year's baby.
You're not a New Year's baby, but you do like to wear the diapers. That is true.
No, it's not that I like to.
I said you have to. It's a necessity.
Because I'm old.
Yes, I hear you. Kurt Price is still facing those allegations. Looks like they're going to be ringing in the new year with him as well. We're bringing you the often imitated, never duplicated, should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and old lang syne? I have no idea what any of that means, but apparently that's the only New Year's song in existence. The original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. This is the 14th episode of season 15 and the 542nd episode of all time. Bill, we are approaching 550 pretty quickly here. That's tell me another hockey podcast that's reached 550 episodes. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, without the allegations taking those other podcasts down.
Yes. We've already got one host down with allegations. So
yeah, but you know what? We've been resilient to
we
this.
have.
So
we have. It is Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, and we're coming to you live. Tonight, we preview the Blues and Avalanche matchup, discuss the two players selected to their country's Olympic team, the World Junior Championships, all that and more on this bright and renewed episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Thank you, everyone listening live, for being with us and not watching Stranger Things. So we appreciate that. Bill, you're a Stranger Things fan, right?
Yeah. Yep. I am. Tomorrow. That's gonna be my thing. Tomorrow is to get caught up. I'm 3 episodes behind. So
okay. Yeah. Well, they've been so long, and that's
right.
And not to get into a Stranger Things, discussion that's going to take the whole show here, because we do need to get to Blues talk pretty quickly. But that is my biggest complaint about Stranger Things. Like when they started announcing like the season 5, how it was going to go, they're like, well, like 3 episodes are going to be like an hour and a half. And I'm like, that's a movie. Mm-hmm. Like, why do they all have to be so long? Just cut, new episode, new episode. It's a lot harder to choose when to stop watching if you need to take a break, when you don't have that like built-in, hey, this episode's ending, here's the new episode.
Yeah, no, they so going into before the release, I wanted to get a refresh on it, and the Duffer Brothers or somebody close to the show called out 4 episodes that you should go back to watch to get yourself ready. And so I went back and watched them, but the last of those 4 episodes was the finale of season 4, was it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, season 4, which is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. And that was like, I thought it was great TV, but it's a movie, right? And that if you don't know that going in, you're like, I didn't allot this time in my life for this, because Yeah.
And,
That's,
well, and
that's
that's
the
what was
thing.
happened. That happened to me. I think it was that same episode where I think the last 2 episodes of season 4 were like at least an hour and a half. And I was just sitting there like, okay, this episode's got to end soon. I'm going to get up and go to the bathroom, make my dinner. And the end of the episode just never came. And I'm sitting there like, when does this end? And I finally just paused it, and it was like 40 minutes left. And I'm like, what? So yeah, I am not a fan of that. Don't give me 6 movies to watch all at once. Like, because you know how social media is. You're gonna get spoiled very quickly if you don't jump in on it quick. And
Yeah.
and I'll tell you, for my part of this, to the story to end, is my wife upstairs right now is very upset that we are doing this show. She's like, Stranger Things debuts at 7, right? And I go, it's streamed and we can watch it whenever we want, right? She's like, that's not the point. We should be watching it right at 7. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't have watched it right at 7 anyway because the Blues play at 8. So I'm probably going to watch it after the game. That made her even more upset. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, of course. You guys clearly have a very open communication style in that relationship that she clearly expected that that's what you guys were doing for New Year's. And so I don't know what we'll wind up watching. We've been watching movies all day, which is awesome. What kind of wanted to do. Got to watch 3/4 of my favorite movie of all time, which is Fargo.
Nice.
And then a couple of Indiana Jones movies. So
nice.
Including,
did you see, not to get into current events now and not talk about the Blues, did you see what happened at Disney World? The Indiana Jones. So the ball in the Indiana Jones show, the giant boulder, it went off track and it started to go towards the audience. This happened like yesterday.
Ooh.
And so one very brave Disney employee, which give this guy a raise, because that thing it's like 400 pounds. It's a heavy thing. It's not just some, piece of styrofoam that rolls down. It's heavy. It's huge. And this guy literally stepped in front of the audience to try and stop it. It smashed this dude, knocked him over right away. Luckily, then it got a couple of the other, what they call them, castmates, right? Or characters or whatever. And a couple of the other characters, classmates or whatever, they all were able to stop it after this guy initially stepped in front of it to where it didn't hit any of the audience.
He took the brunt of it.
He did. And I was like, that is a good employee. Give that man a raise.
Right.
Not only pay for his medical bills, but also give him a raise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably violated some portion of his contract, and corporate America will have
He's
him
gonna get fired
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yep. Fired, and we're not paying for your bills. You were not in the right part of the set you were supposed to be in. Yeah. Let's hope that's not the case. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Couple comments we'll get to real quick here. Joe Schmo in the chat. Party people in the house. Yes, we are. This was, I think, before we went on. Tree says our hosts are facing allegations of an unspecified nature. No, it's very specified. We are creeps. So there you go. Bill does not like me saying that, but
I could vouch for one of us.
Yeah, that's 100%. And then comment of the show, which is our friend Matt Harris. Hey everyone, out celebrating my birthday. Have a great show. Happy New Year's. I forgot he's a New Year's Eve baby, right? I don't think or is he a New Year's baby?
I thought
he told us last year.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to Ace's comment here in a minute. Talking about Bill wearing the diapers. Bill likes to be pampered, not to wear Pampers. That's from Trees. Trees also says he chooses to embark on a much longer TV project than Stranger Things, Star Trek Voyager. Yeah, that is good Lord. Over on Facebook, Anthony Fernando says just 6 movies, slacker. That is what Stranger Things feels like. Jeff kicking off the new year in the doghouse from Joe Schmo, 100%. And then Anthony also adds, hey guys, love the show, and I made your "Don't Open the Polak Door" into a pillow. Oh, he won the TV or the T-shirt, right? You remember that was a long time ago. We gave away a "Don't Open the Polak Door" or Polak.
Roman Polak.
Yeah, why? I was like, am I being?
It sounds
racist
weird
right
now. Now that he's out of our
Not on the
lives,
team?
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Like
were
Pollock,
we
right?
were we like insensitive to him?
No, and that really was his name. It's like you said, it's been so long that I've said his name. I'm like, is that right? I guess that is right. That's awesome that he made our T-shirt into a pillow. Very cool. Yeah, my dad had one. I remember too, and my dad used to wear it, and he loved that. He loved that because he loved Roman Polak. He was the old school Blues fan. Bob Plager, his favorite player of all time. Roman Polak, a throwback. Loved the early days of Barrett Jackman. Yeah, so definitely, I hear you on that. And that was a great line. That was Ken Hitchcock, right? I think Bill might even say that was probably the best thing Ken Hitchcock ever did was have that line.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
It was definitely a Hitchcock thing, but yeah, it's one thing I won't have any regrets about giving him credit for.
Well, hopefully I'm not coming off, and please, audience listening live, if I am, let me know. Hopefully I'm not coming off too loud. If you might be able to tell, I've got a new microphone set up here. Got this for Christmas, so thank you, Mom, if you're listening. And I had to change the arm, so the arm that I use for the microphone is now coming from the other side. So I've got everything topsy-turvy. I've got the outline on a different screen. I've got Bill on a different screen than I usually do. So I'm very backwards right now. So if I come off odd I'm always odd, but more odd than usual, or if I'm coming off very loud, please let me know and I will try to adjust on the fly. How do I sound to you, Bill? Do
You
I
sound
okay?
great to me.
I always do. Let's
except
get into
except last night in practice. Cortland and I were talking about how you were just the Charlie Brown teacher. That for us goalies standing in the back, that's all it was. So
yes, those who are listening who might be wondering,
practice.
We had a practice for our beer league team, and it sounds odd, and my roller hockey friends all thought it was odd, but honestly, as much hockey as we all play, we're just not like you really do every now and then need to have like a practice where you kind of work on strategy and try to find chemistry together. And you think about it, you go out on the ice rink and you play once a week with guys in a real game situation. It's hard to really develop like any kind of strategy. So I know teams that practice way more than we do. We've done it once in 2 years. And so, yeah, we did have a practice last night, and it did feel really weird to like be barking at like 30, 40 and 50-year-olds, like, telling guys like, because there's one drill I was trying to run where we're doing a breakout and I'm trying to tell the guys, like, hey, the left wing needs to come deep and then slide a one-touch pass to the center as he's breaking up next to him and, trying to explain how it works. And, and then over time, just like, any sports drill, it starts to loosen up a little bit too much to where like the left wing's not really entering the zone. He's like at the blue line and the center is like cruising up the center. So there's not really a good chance for a one-touch pass. And so I'm having guys, it is imperative that the left wing stays on the boards, goes into the zone. The center needs to cross next to him and like yelling at these full-grown men. It just feels so odd, but unfortunately, as a coach, that's just kind of what you have to do.
Yeah, it was a fun practice at the end of the day.
It was.
Even the goalies had enough fun, although first part of it was kind of slow for us.
Yeah, the initial warm-up of we need you guys to skate down 2-on-0 and then skate back and get a shot on goal. Make sure you complete 6 passes first. Guys are out of rhythm. They're not used to doing stuff like that. And so, yeah, like at the very beginning, I think like the first 5 2-on-0s we had on you guys, I don't think there was one shot on goal.
No. And then the first shot attempt was not on target. So,
yes. So at one point I even looked over. It was either you or Cortland. And I was just like, sorry, guys. It might be like this the whole time.
Yeah, it was fun, though.
No, it was. We had a good time. Let's get into quickly our beers of the episode. Official beers at number 542. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. Bill is at Billy Blue Note 33. I am at J Ponder 94. Bill, what are you drinking tonight?
So I went deep into the archives tonight since it's New Year's, and I am doing the Four Hands Madagascar Columbia Huila, made with Sump coffee. This was can't find the date on here, but a couple years back when they had their big Madagascar release, I think it might have been during the pandemic. I went all in and got as many of the different variants as I could, and got a couple of these, the Columbia Huila coffee stout, very very good, and definitely a good thing to open up on New Year's Eve.
Nice. Yeah,
Get
very
the party
nice.
going.
Yep. Well, party's going at the Ponder House as well. The wife, as I came home from doing a little quick grocery shopping, she had this made for me. It's not as colorful as it was, but and you can see she put it in my T-Rex glass. It was supposed to be. It's a like blood orange margarita mixed with some pineapple rum and a couple different things in there. So that's how we started off our drinking tonight. But a lot of the flavor has gone, and it's a lot of the ice chunks at this point. But still very good. So I do have a couple backups, even though we're only doing an hour show. I am finishing off my last eggnog of the year. And in one of my favorite cups, this is from the movie Violent Night with David Harbour. Speaking of Stranger Things, time for some seasons beatings. That's something he says in the trailer for Violent Night. If anybody has seen that, one of the best Christmas movies ever made. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's within the last 2 years, very good movie. I think they're releasing a sequel next year. I also have a backup here with Schlafly Christmas Ale. This is also my last of the Schlafly Christmas Ale. So I am very prepared in case I drink these very quickly.
I have a couple of those left in the fridge. We placed an order for Dewey's a while ago that it won't get delivered till after. But that's probably what I'm going to grab to have with the pizza, because it is.
We had Bellacinos earlier, and I did have one already myself.
Nice.
It is really a lot of Schlafly I found is very good with pizza. So
yeah. Any of the winter warmer type beers generally go well with it.
Yep, agree. Let's get into some Blues talk here, and actually I need to update this. The Blues, let's talk about the World Junior Championships right now. So the St. Louis Blues have two prospects in there, and that is Luve Harenstam. Am I saying the last name correctly, by the way?
I've heard it pronounced that way several times.
So it's weird because on the Blues' site, and this is the only place I see it, they have him as Luve Harenstam, S-T-R-O-M. And everywhere else, it's Harenstam, S-T-A-M. And I even messaged the Blues and was like, which one is correct? Is this just a typo all over your site? Nobody responded, of course. But I just don't know. And I'll admit, I don't know the translation. If anyone listening does, please let me know. The translation between Swedish and English, is there a weird, well, in English, it should be spelled this way. In Sweden, it should be spelled like this. I don't know if there's something like that. So I've been going with Luve Harenstam because that's how I've been hearing it pronounced as well.
I think the Swedish translation is Love Actually.
A great Christmas movie. Very nice. My wife hates that movie, but I love it. I actually do like that movie. You know what's funny is the guy that falls in love with Keira Knightley. That is Rick Grimes.
Yeah,
from Walking Dead. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yes, he is actually
quite
British.
a different role for him.
Yes.
So anyway, in this tournament, the Czech team has Adam Jiricek, and he has 2 goals and 3 games, 3 points as well. And I believe, did he not score the game winner again today?
I didn't catch the Czech game. I had the Swiss and the Slovaks. It was 3-1 Switzerland when I turned it off, so I didn't catch the later game.
They played Latvia at 2:30, and I did watch some of it, and he scored, and I'm pretty sure it stood as the game winner, which means because he scored in overtime the other day, so he's got 2 winners right now, which is very impressive. for a guy that he's known for being offensive, an offensive defenseman, but
Kind of
he's
like
also
you.
very offensive. Yes, very. But he's also kind of more known for his defensive ability. So to see him, and again, we saw him win OHL Player of the Month back in November because he had a point in every game except one. So obviously he's a point scorer too. But Jiricek is really standing out. And I've been seeing people say if this kid was up for the draft next year, he would be drafted in the top 10.
Yeah.
And that's really great to hear for Blues fans because, that was kind of the knock on the Blues there for a couple of years because it was like, well, they're not good enough to make the playoffs every year, but they're not bad enough to get a top 5 pick. Well, maybe Jiricek is rounding out into that.
Yeah, and we got him at 16, right? I think
so. Yeah.
And not having to give up a top 5 pick on a defenseman. Obviously that worked out very well for us with Petro, but not so much with Erik Johnson before him.
Yes.
But that draft was Steven Stamkos and a bunch of defensemen. So it's awesome. He's I've heard that a comment somewhere or read a comment somewhere that he is on the fast track to being named top defenseman at the tournament at this point,
which is amazing because there are some hella good defensemen in this tournament. Obviously, actually, I'm looking it up now. I don't think that those numbers I said were correct. I don't think they were updated from today's game. So
no, you had that posted this morning. So
yep. So well, I looked at the Blues site. They have not updated the Blues site either. 4 games. 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points. And I believe 2 of those are game winners as well. So he is playing very well. The Czechs are looking very good. I'm going to have to check what what the standings are right now, but I know they were doing pretty well in Group B. Yeah, they're going to finish the round robin, it looks like. I think, I guess there's still a chance, but it looks like they're going to finish at least second place in the standings, which is impressive with Canada being in the same boat. And then over in Group A, Sweden right now is 3-0, and they are they not playing right now? They're playing right this moment, right?
Yes, they are up 6-3 on the U.S. with just under 10 minutes to go.
So they will, barring a huge comeback, they will go 4-0 in group play, which is really impressive considering they've got the U.S. and honestly the Swiss teams is not a pushover like they used to be. And so Sweden will be 4-0 at the end of that game, most likely. And Luve Harenstam has played very, very well in this tournament. Before that game, he played in the first 2 games for Sweden. I believe he's playing tonight as well. And he's only given up 2 goals in those games, a .929 save percentage, playing very well. And again, reading kind of more, this is obviously the time there's a lot of prospect talk in the NHL. Kind of some things were brought up that there was a lot of, because he was a 6th round pick for the Blues. There was a lot of talk apparently during the draft that when he fell out of the 3rd round, every single team was like, oh man, Harenstam's still out there. And apparently they just didn't feel like, okay, well, we need to take this guy. We have more of a need at defense. We have more of a need at forward. And this happens to goalies. They can sometimes fall very, very far just because teams feel like they've got their goaltending figured out. And so he fell to the 6th round. Blues picked him up. And apparently right now, a lot of people are saying, again, this is another kid that if he would be drafted this upcoming year, he would definitely be a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. So Blues might have a hidden gem here in Harenstam in goal as well.
Yeah, he just made a Joel Hofer clearance up the boards. He
Nice.
looks like he's got a lot of tools in the tool belt. Have you seen the Elite Prospects commercial on NHL Network? Where it's about Otto Stenberg's brother Ivar and how he could possibly go number 1 overall.
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting, and dude's been dominating. So don't think we're gonna get that brother connection here without a big trade, because I was gonna say, I don't think we're going top 5.
Wouldn't that be impressive if the Blues somehow pulled off some type of trade? Obviously, they'd probably have to move their whatever place they'll sit in the first round with another elite player like a Rob Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, if they can swing it. But I mean, yeah, that would be incredible. Imagine how happy Otto Stenberg would be to have his brother playing here full time as well.
And I think we have, as we transition into Blues talk here in a minute, we've got to talk about Otto Stenberg and how he fits. He fits already.
And we can do that after the break. So we will take a quick break here. We'll come back. We'll preview the Avalanche game. We'll talk about Otto Stenberg. And there was some news out of the Hockey Canada camp today that does relate to the St. Louis Blues. So we will get to that here in a minute. But first, let's hear from our excellent sponsors. Don't go anywhere.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What are you doing? Have you not subscribed to the Let's Go Blues Minute yet? Do it wherever you get podcasts. It provides a daily look into the St. Louis Blues, filling the gap between Let's Go Blues radio shows. Go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, go to Friendster. I don't care. Just subscribe and get fresh blues content daily. Do it. Like now.
Every hockey team needs that clutch player who knows when to pass, when to shoot, and when to take charge. In real estate, that superstar is Mike Burgoyne of Real Brokerage Realty. Whether you're buying your first home or selling your current one, Mike skates circles around the competition with his knowledge, hustle, and down-to-earth approach. And here's the real zone ability. If you're a first responder, veteran, doctor, nurse, teacher, or even just a loyal Let's Go Blues radio listener, you'll score special rates when you work with Mike. Got questions? Fire them at him. He'll answer quicker than Bill Day's glove hand. Obstacles in your way? He'll plow through them harder than I would in a goalmouth scramble. And when it comes time to close, he'll put it in the back of the net faster than a Kurt Price shot from the slot. So don't just settle for an ordinary realtor. Get the MVP on your side. Visit strikewithmike.com or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com today. Mike Burgoyne, the real estate teammate you can always count on.
Is your business wanting to advertise but not wanting to break the bank? Are you wanting to target 20 to 60-somethings for your product or service? We can help. The Let's Go Blues radio team is currently accepting new advertisers for our live shows and at our website, letsgoblues.com. Pricing starts at just $10 per month. Go to letsgoblues.com/advertising to learn more.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
Well, Jordan Binnington and Colton Parayko were selected to Team Canada for the 2026 Olympics. Men's hockey schedule begins on February 11th. Canada will open tournament play against Czechia on February 12th at 9:40. There's a couple things we can get into here. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I'd like to talk about the Avalanche and Blues and obviously Otto Stenberg because Bill is an intelligent man and wants to talk about him. But for me, this is going to sound kind of crazy, but I was a little, I don't want to say shocked. Shocked, I think, is too strong of a word. Surprised that they still are going with Binnington, especially when you look at their three goalies that they picked. So for those that might remember, Four Nations face-off, they had Binnington, and he played in every game for Canada. They also had Aiden Hill and Sam Montembeault. So they did replace the other two goalies, and they replaced them with Logan Thompson and Darcy Kemper. And the only reason I bring that up is just because they went ahead and made the change with their other two goalies. And again, I'm not saying, and it is, and I heard Darren Drager talk about this on TSN earlier today, or Sportsnet or whatever it was. And he said, this is purely a resume pick. They did not look at the numbers of the year. And actually, real quick, and Bill, I definitely want to get your thoughts on this, but Doug Armstrong did say when he was asked by Pierre LeBrun, kind of the reasoning behind Binnington getting picked by not just Armstrong, but the whole Team Canada representation. And he said, quote, "What impressed me the most was how little time the rest of the group thought about what Jordan's numbers were this year. He carried the same respect from everyone in the group, from coaches to management, which was very impressive. I'd say Jordan's numbers this year are probably more of a byproduct of the team he's with, which is unfortunate for me because I manage the team. But there's a belief that if and when he gets the opportunity, he has the pedigree and knowledge how to play in big moments." So again, I don't want to say I'm surprised, like fully surprised by this pick. I just think looking at it from the outside, he's not even the best Canadian goaltender on his team right now. So it's just, to me, like, it's kind of surprising to see we're not even looking at his numbers. We think he's going to be great.
Right. No, the fact that right now Joel Hofer is like being talked about as the number one goalie on the Blues, and is nowhere near the conversation for being on Team Canada tells you a lot about it, right? Go back to the Four Nations, go back to Stanley Cup 2019. There haven't been any at the NHL level goaltending performances better than what Jordan Binnington has delivered in those moments, right? You've had, some flashes here and there, but, Ottinger, go back to that series a couple years ago where they should have totally gotten out of Calgary, but wound up losing because of Gaudreau. Thought he was great in that series and was going to carry that team to the cup. Nobody else has been able to deliver that. And Binnington is the big moment goaltender in this era, right? Watching him game in, game out this year has been painful. It's like, come on, Jordan, just make that save, please, right?
Yep.
You can't see it, but I did get another Jordan Binnington jersey for Christmas, and I will be wearing
which one?
The current home jersey. So
nice, very
yes.
cool.
Yep. So I will be wearing that to the Habs game on Saturday.
Awesome.
I don't expect him to be in the net on Saturday though, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess it depends on. I mean, if he just plays lights out tonight and they somehow beat the Avalanche, there's a chance, but I don't see that happening.
He does tend to have their number, right? He's always played well against the Avs. So maybe
you must have listened to the Let's Go Blues Minute this morning. Smash that subscribe button.
I did. I smashed that subscribe button a long time ago. And so it gets delivered to my notifications every day. And
that was something I did bring up today, was that he does have, I mean, his numbers aren't like stupendous. I think he's 12-13-1 all time against the Avs, but he was 3-0 last year against the Avs. And we remember his playoff performance before Nazem Kadri remembered he was a douchebag and took him out for the series. But yeah, I mean, again, getting back into this discussion here on hand about Team Canada, I do think, again, I'm not saying that like don't agree with the pick. I think it's an excellent pick, and I think I would even be saying if I were them, Jordan, this isn't a guaranteed spot for you. Like, we're going to play all three of you in the round robin, and whoever comes out on top is going to be our starter. But I think no matter how he plays in round robin, he will. And if he doesn't get the starting job once the elimination rounds start, I think you have a quick leash, and he is always your backup, because you're going to say, this guy has proven he can do it on the biggest stage before. So let's see him do it again if we need it.
Yeah, the Canadian, the men's Olympic team is night and day different than their U20 World Junior team, right? They are struggling to produce at the the U20 level at this point. But their men's team, like, if they aren't in the gold medal game, it's a scandal, right?
Yep.
And I'm completely not surprised by Aiden Hill and definitely Sam Montembeault getting supplanted on this team, because Montembeault just got sent down to the AHL for some conditioning, came back, had a really strong game against Florida, delivered enough key saves to allow Montreal to get that game to overtime and win it. but definitely not at this point the guy that you're going to make the call to.
Yeah.
Logan Thompson is one of my favorite goalies to watch. Guy is so good.
I was surprised that they went with Aiden Hill over Thompson in the Four Nations. That was probably my biggest shock in the Four Nations picking.
Yeah. I couldn't understand it, right? I thought Logan Thompson was the better of the goalies in Vegas when he got traded.
Yes.
And I thought it, he was a big reason why Washington, finished top of the league last year. He's an incredible goalie. I would not be surprised if he doesn't wind up being the main guy this year. But when you get to an elimination game, Binner's got to be right there.
Yep, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think
he's injured.
he could give up 10 goals in 2 starts in the round robin, and the other guys could get shutouts the other 2 games. And I think they're still going to say you're at least our backup in every game, because you put him in. He's the type of guy you put him in the second period, he could still deliver a lights out performance because he's a big game goalie. So for me, at the very least, he will be sitting on the bench in elimination games. He will be on the team. It's just a matter of, will he be the starting goalie, I think, is the only question for me right now.
Yeah. Kemper, I think he got, he got the nod because of obviously last season. Kings aren't doing well this year. It's a team thing with them. No matter who's in net, their defense just isn't as good as they were last year. Obviously, trading Danault means they're not in on this season and willing to give up their best defensive forward. I would expect him to get the least amount of time, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. Sorry, I said stranger things. If Jess is listening, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, I think her ears just perked up like a cat. Like, did I just hear Stranger Things? I'm trying to pull up for us to talk because I forgot to do this. Throwing in the Blues lineup for tonight. But I can't get it to copy. Never mind. Anyway, that is not important. Were you shocked they kept the defense the same for Team Canada? So Colton Parayko returns, and the entire defense that we saw in the Four Nations is back.
Yeah, I was shocked that Colton Parayko was back on the roster. Not that he's had a terrible season, but I think there are probably 4 or 5 guys that should have made the team ahead of him. But they must have liked the chemistry that they saw, in last year. And they're probably also not afraid to run Makar and Taves out there for 34 minutes a night during the medal round. And Luve Harenstam has another win. So 6-3.
There you go.
6-3.
He's looking good. I saw some of his game. I think it was the second game. It was a rout. I want to say they won like 8-1. He looks very good. I'm very impressed by him. So we'll see how long it takes for him to make the move to the AHL. But he's looking like he's going to be a pretty solid goalie for the Blues in their pipeline. And
we need that, right?
Yes, we do.
We were all very high on oh God, I'm blank on his name now.
Colton Ellis.
Colton Ellis, and he got picked, and thought he might be the guy to really sneak in Buffalo. But how about Alex Lyon?
This is the second time he's done that, because he did that with Florida a couple years ago.
Yeah,
where he was kind of beating out even like Bobrovsky for some starts, and it was like, who is this Alex Lyon fella? And now he's doing it for Buffalo. So hey, you like a good feel-good story right there. Take a look at Alex Lyon. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Doug Gibson Music over on YouTube says, the family and I got to attend our first game at Enterprise Center. We live in, is that Virginia or Vancouver? Yeah, I guess that's Virginia. Just checking. Wasn't sure. You never know. I mean, we've got plenty of Canadian fans that listen to the show. Had a great time in spite of the cold and the loss. Happy New Year's, fellas, and let's go Blues. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you're able to attend a game. I mean, it's a shame they lost it, but at the same time, there's nothing like going to see your favorite team live. For me, even going to see the Rams when they were terrible, and I was a kid, and seeing a live football game alone was just so exciting. Even though I think they lost like 41-14 or something, and Tony Banks had like 4 interceptions, but still, just seeing a live sporting event and when it's your team, it's just there's nothing like it.
I can't wait for this Saturday because I get to see both my teams.
That's true. Very true. You've got some good tickets for it too.
Yes. I have the goalie's eye view. Thank you,
Yes,
Stan.
you do. Yeah, it's my Bill has bought the tickets from my season ticket holding brother. So he sits right behind Binnington or it's going to be a back-to-back. So it's going to be Binnington or Hofer on Saturday. You'll sit right behind them twice. So you'll see the Montreal Canadiens attack, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I don't. Whoever's in net, I will probably spend the first 20 minutes studying how they've got their pads strapped and all of that kind of stuff. So goalie nerd stuff.
Oh yeah, get there for warm-ups for sure, 100%. All right, and so real quick, let's talk about Pius Suter, sidelined with a right ankle injury. He's going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks. So that's unfortunate. He let the Blues' 3-2 win over the Predators in the third period. He was tripped by Predators' as I've called him before, Michael McDonald, but he is Michael McCarron. Oh, I'm going to slew foot Pius Suter. He returned to finish the game, but afterward, Blues coach Jim Montgomery was still concerned. He said, quote, "We were worried because it looked like a slew foot from where we were. I don't think it was intentional, but it looked like a slew foot. A lot of times that can be a bad injury." And I agree. I actually had the exact same thought he did. So initially, when I saw him go down, Blues fan in me jumped up out of my seat, spilled beer on myself, and I'm like, what? How is that not a penalty? And I still think it should have been a penalty. But watching the replay, I was like, I don't think he did that at all intentionally. But at the same time, that is a scary thing to see. I don't know, Bill, if you've ever on ice or not have been slew-footed. It really is one of those things where you have no idea it's coming. So there's no way to brace for it. And you could really injure yourself. I mean, concussions alone. But on top of that, I mean, broken ankles, which sounds like maybe this is what happened. Sprains. I mean, a lot of bad things can happen from a slew foot.
Yeah, whiplash, right?
Yeah.
That's really the biggest thing because it's the surprise factor. I've been lucky enough to avoid that in my lifetime. Hope I will always be able to, but yeah, it's a scary thing. And McCarron is such a massive human being, right? He's what 6'7", 240. I was he was not your prototypical Montreal Canadian. And I was kind of shocked when they traded him because he seemed to be an effective guy, but don't like having to face that guy 4 or 5 times a season. Now that he's in Nashville.
He really does drive like all physical play. He's one of those guys, kind of like not obviously not the same type of player, but like a Dan Heinold, where it's like you noticed when Dan Heinold was in the lineup, and it was like the Blues were just more physical when he was there. And I remember he had a fairly significant injury, I think, where he was out for like a month or 2 at one point, and the Blues' physical play just disappeared. Like nobody was hitting. There was no forecheck. They weren't a team to be feared at all. And then the minute Heinold came back, it was like, okay, this team's physical again. They can battle it out in corners, win puck battles, and create a forecheck. And it's the same, I think, for the Predators. Like when he's one of those players that he's not going to put up 30 goals, but he is a presence on the rink, and you notice him both as a Predators fan as a fan of the opposing team. So moving on, talking about tonight, in just a couple minutes, we're going to be watching the Blues and the Predators battle.
Nope.
Blues and the Avalanche battle.
Take that out of the podcast.
Rewind.
Yes.
Tonight, the St. Louis Blues and the Colorado Avalanche will battle at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. See how I did that? Nobody even noticed. December 31st at 8 p.m. Now I'm just like reading the box score. But yes, the Avalanche are currently in an 8-game winning streak. They have had, Bill, this is ridiculous. This is the turn of the calendar year after this game tonight. They have 2 regulation losses right now. 2. The Blues don't even have 2. The Blues don't even have more than 2 wins in a row this season yet. And this team's only had 2 regulation losses.
They are, if any team in the last, the Jets, the beginning of last year, the year before, could be described the same way, but they're a juggernaut, right?
Yeah.
They are, everything's clicking. They finally have solid goaltending. That used to be their Achilles heel. But yeah, everything is clicking for them. Not going to be upset with whatever the outcome is tonight, if it's a negative one, because they are that good, right? Just don't get embarrassed, I think, is as a fan that watches all the games, that's what I want from tonight. Don't get embarrassed.
I don't want to. I'll tell you what my goal is with this game, Bill. I don't want to rage turn off the TV. Like, if I can make it through the entire game without going, fuck this, and just turning the TV off, that's a win for me.
Let's put on Stranger Things, Jess.
Yeah. You ready? Oh, you're already passed out. Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, no, that is the just going into this game, you just know that not to expect a lot. And yeah, just I may actually even just watch it on my iPad while watching a movie tonight, because I don't expect a lot.
I think what's going to happen is I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to say, let's watch the Blues game. She's going to be upset about that. And then I'm going to say, okay, here's the deal. We'll turn on Stranger Things, and on my computer, I will have it on my lap, and I will just watch the Blues game in the background. I think that's probably going to be the compromise tonight. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And Joe Schmo says the Avs will be overconfident. We got them right where we want them. I love that. You know what? Good for you. Here's your comment of the show there, Joe Schmo.
That's great.
Damn it. I knew that was going to happen. All right. That's not going to work. In the podcast,
I could hear it.
Sound great.
I could hear it. But so you got your timing. Your timing. But
it's because I, again, had to mess things around getting a new mic. So I think I need to work with that again. So, yeah. But anyway. And Big Beaver does say anything can happen, you negative Nancy's. Yeah. And they also the Avs, they did come off a big win against the Kings on Monday, 5-2. They had 5 different goal scorers, including Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, and Mackenzie Blackwood was in net, stopped 23 of 25 shots. Real quick notes for this game. Doug Armstrong's going to serve as his 1,200th game as the Blues general manager on Wednesday at Colorado, becoming the 20th individual in NHL history to serve that many games as GM with a single franchise. I thought it would be more. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because the MLB, like you hear like, oh, he's managing his 1,400th game with the Cardinals, which means he's been here a season and a half because there's so many damn games in the MLB. But like 1,200 games, it just feels like Armstrong's been our GM for a lot longer than that.
Yes, it feels like a lifetime at this point. That's quite the number.
It is, but it's still impressive.
I just saw a stat on NHL Network on their score line at the bottom. Nathan McKinnon has 29 points in his last 16 games.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
20 points in his last 11 too. Unbelievable. Dude's on a tear.
So only possible thing to happen tonight is he gets injured for shift.
Bill. You're calling out the injury ninja on Nathan McKinnon, huh? Oh boy. Now you're going to feel terrible going into the new year if it happens. Or you'll feel great because the Blues got to win.
I'll go buy a lottery ticket if it happens.
There you go. One other note, Colton Parayko recorded his 11th assist of the season on Monday. It was the 229th of his career. That moved him into a tie with Rob Ramage for the fourth most among defensemen in franchise history. But keep in mind, as weird as this is, and it kind of ties back to the Team Canada talk we had earlier, no goals on the season, which is insane. He had 16 last year, career high, and he's at 0 heading into the new year. Maybe he breaks the mold tonight and gets his first goal.
Right. And I think that's the biggest difference, right? Why I didn't think he was the guy to make Team Canada. Obviously, they want him there in a defensive role. They've got, Cale Makar and Harley and other guys to do the offensive end of things for the defense. But last year, it was much easier to say, oh, he's having a great year. He should be on this team. He's having an okay year. He's not the best defenseman on this Blues team.
Nope.
You can kind of go the same analysis as Jordan Binnington. He's not the best goalie on this team, but I guess it kind of in the end makes sense. Don't fiddle with it too much, especially if your GM is the same GM.
Yep, and that's kind of what I thought too. Is I thought after winning, because they played some really good teams in that Four Nations face-off. I mean, to say that Finland was the weakest is saying a lot because Finland is a dang good hockey country. So, obviously if they can pull it out in that, and teams were playing hard. It wasn't just like an all-star game out there. That was a tough competition. And they played very well. So I do see why he went with almost the exact same team. Some changes up front as well. I know your boy Nick Suzuki is back is now on Team Canada as well, which is very impressive for him. But I was
Tom Wilson.
Interesting pick. Hey, fourth line, he will be great.
Right. He is the hardest guy. I would say he's the hardest guy in the NHL to play against because he's so dirty.
Yep.
And he will do whatever it takes.
And he's got a scoring touch too.
He does.
He's not a Tony Twist out there. He's going out there and he's actually putting up points and goals, and they play him on the power play. And I mean, that was another player I was kind of surprised he didn't at least get more fanfare around the Four Nations. So not a terrible pick, but definitely interesting to see him. And a Sam Bennett being left off the roster was quite the shock. Conn Smythe winner from not even a season ago.
To me, when I saw that, I'm like, that Armstrong's like, you know what? You didn't even give us a chance to make you an offer last year, so fuck you.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, every Blues fan was drooling over the chance of signing that guy after his Conn Smythe performance last year, and he's like,
even before.
Nope. Right.
I remember that was a discussion after the Blues lost. I think it was Andy Strickland actually asked Armstrong, who are you eyeing in free agency? He flat out said, we're looking at guys like Sam Bennett. And then he goes on and wins the Conn Smythe. And it's like, ooh, is he going to leave Florida? I guess we'll see.
Nope. He hadn't even sobered up when he signed that contract.
Yep. So St. Louis was 3-1-0 against the Avalanche last season, and they've won 3 straight meetings since. That includes a 2-1-0 record in their last 3 games in Denver. Robert Thomas led the way for St. Louis last season against Colorado with 6 assists and 7 points. So the Blues, honestly, if there was ever going to be, I mean, you look at the way they played against Florida when they went into that game, played very well. And it was just, hey, they can beat good teams. This could be one of those situations, not to be a negative Nancy, baked beaver, sorry. It just doesn't feel that way tonight going into a powerhouse in Colorado, but they do play Colorado pretty well. So this could be a very surprise game for the Blues tonight if they can pull it out.
Yeah, and this is the first time we're playing the Avalanche this year, isn't it? This
Yes, it
the
is.
craziness of the NHL schedule.
Yeah, and then the next time they play them is they have 2 more games against them, and it's like 2 of the last 5 games of the season.
Yeah, April.
And
Crazy.
again, we want competitive divisional playoffs, but teams are going to play each other 3 times in an 82-game season. Makes zero sense to me, but such is the NHL, the league that doesn't know what goaltender interference is, but will penalize a team if you don't guess if goaltender interference is correct or not. Don't even get me started. So yes, you mentioned, let's quickly get into it. The play of Otto Stenberg. He is an NHL player. And I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago when he was called up. Somebody even asked before he was called up on this show, they asked, why have they not called up Stenberg? And my response was, I saw him in preseason. I saw him in training camp. He's not NHL ready. But, and again, I brought this up too, that Chris Kerber said that he is a guy that when he plays with other intelligent, high IQ players, his game elevates and he elevates those around him. And we're seeing that. I really think that was an excellent call by Chris Kerber, because in a vacuum, watching Stenberg in the preseason when he's playing with guys who probably are not going to make the NHL roster, not looking good. It was just like, oh man, like this guy's not ready. Give him 2 or 3 more years and maybe he'll be an NHL player. But now we're seeing him. I mean, tonight we're going to see him with Dvorsky and Kyrou, 2 guys who are, at this point, I think, are proven NHL players. He's looking great. He's looked very good for the Blues in this call-up.
Yeah, no, IQ is just such a great term to describe him. And, go back to the Buffalo game. There was the shorthanded 2-on-1 where Thomas tried to feed him and he missed it. Give him that opportunity again. Let that sequence repeat, and his IQ is such that he will easily score that goal, right? He puts himself into the right situations, and he has the intelligence to know, I was half a second off there. I will be better next time. Yep. And it'll be a tap in. He is just positionally, he is, I don't, did Alex Steen father this kid, right? Because he seems like a Steen clone to me, right? Yes. He's just always in the right place, plays the right way, defensively. Like from game 1, he has been on the PK and he has been effective. And yes. I mean, I don't think he goes back down, right? I think, there was a commercial earlier I watched the Buffalo game, like the second and third periods of the Buffalo game this morning. Hadn't gotten to it yet. That game was pretty close. Buffalo's on a heater. It wasn't that far up, but they were better. But there was a promo in there, and Nick Bukestad, I think it's for the Montreal game, it's first responders game, and he was modeling the jersey, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? Right? Nick Bukestad's been injured for a month now, it feels like. I don't know that they need him at this point. Will he be the guy that gets waived? When it comes back time for him to rejoin the team. Stenberg is just, he's filling a need that, Bukestad wasn't terrible, but I think Stenberg's been better in that defensive role.
Yep. And so we got a question here from Joe Schmo. And Bill, I'm typically about a minute and a half behind most broadcasts. So if the game, let's just say when you see national anthem start, tell me to start closing her up. Joe Schmo says, what are they going to do when Walker and Holloway come back? Stenberg deserves to stay, but he wouldn't have to clear waivers. That is the issue. Exactly what you just said, Bill, that, and I do think that is the tough management decision. Well, do I just keep Stenberg up? Because the question is also involved in that. What do we do with this season? Are we going for it? If we're going for it, then yeah, we need to keep Stenberg up. If it's, guys, we're not going to make the playoffs, even if we do, we're going to pewter out in the first round, maybe you just say, let's stick with these NHL guys. Stenberg, go get some more playing time in the AHL. I don't want that. I want it to be 100% Stenberg on this roster all season. I think he's earned his spot. I do think Matthew Joseph is a guy that probably is going to be the first one on waivers once these injuries start coming, which is sad. I think he's had a good year. But for me, it's just that's the guy that I think you're going to have to let go.
Right. He's had a great stint with the Blues, but he's clearly not a Montgomery favorite. And I think I agree with that. I think he will be the first guy out.
Yep. And then I think you're right. Bukestad might be another guy, which that would be a bad look, I think, for the Blues, signing a guy and then putting him on waivers on the same year. But, I mean, when you have a guy like Stenberg and you think you are going to be pitching for the playoffs, you got to go with the better talent. And, again, I like Bukestad. I think he's been great for the Blues too. But you're right. When it comes to a comparison, Stenberg's better. So that does make it a lot tougher on Doug Armstrong.
Right. And there's nothing to say that Stenberg will be like, the moment will hit him and he's like, oh, shit. But I don't know. I just there's just a quiet confidence about him. Every shift he seems to do everything right. Looking at the analytics at the end of every game on hockey stat cards, at least I can't remember when he's been on the negative end of things. So if he keeps it up, he really shouldn't go down. Right. And that's, I want a team that manages to the idea of they, regardless of age, and this is like, the anti-Ken Hitchcock thing. And this will also, I think help us understand where we are in the transition from Armstrong to Steen, where we start trusting our youth. Right.
Yep.
We've found all the youth is working and a game is starting. So we should wrap this up.
Okay, real quick. Let me test this. Do you hear that?
I cannot.
Never mind. I thought I fixed my issue with the comment of the show, but I will work on that this week, folks. You're right. Let's wrap her up. So obviously tonight, last game of the calendar year, Colorado, 8:00 Friday. Why in the hell do we play at 2 p.m. on a Friday against Vegas? But hey, that's what we're doing. Saturday, Montreal, 3 p.m. Bill Day will be in attendance. Look for him behind Jordan Binnington's right shoulder for 2 periods. Or
10 rows off the ice.
10 rows off the ice.
Not wearing a Canadiens jersey.
Wednesday, January 7th, we will be seeing the Blues play in Chicago at 8:30. So that is the next week. We don't know when our next show will be. Maybe next Tuesday, maybe next Wednesday. We'll do another pregame show. I don't know. But Bill, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to our fans, listeners. We love you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in for this pregame show, as well as tuning in all season. We really appreciate it. Bill, any final thoughts before we get into this game?
No, let's just go enjoy this. Let's go enjoy the new year. Don't expect a lot, but the Central is so top heavy that anything can happen. Find a rhythm, make it, and let's see what happens. Oh, we're losing.
Oh no. Are you serious?
We're losing. Nichushkin at 1 minute.
No, the game just started for me. Oh my God. All right. Well, Stranger Things, here I come. All right. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks to our incredible sponsor, StrikeWithMike.com. That will wrap up episode 14 of season 15 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those participating in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the show. Make sure to follow us on socials at LGB Radio and follow, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. For Kurt Price and Bill Day, I'm Jeff Ponder, and this was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, stop losing Blues. Let's go Blues. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Let's go Blues. Damn it.
Now I need to find the button for the closing. Okay, bye.
on fire, I